everyone, this is Shadrition and I help people go beyond. Today I bring you a very intriguing topic. The other day I was looking at my mom watching TV and something caught my attention. There was this movie starring a little girl who could mysteriously heal people. The movie is called The Girl Who Believes in Miracles. The girl heard a preacher say this famous line you have heard somewhere, that faith can move mountains. So, after hearing that line, she started praying. Doesn't matter what type of prayer she did, all I know is she started praying. And with that, certain opportunities were presented to her. First, she went to a lake, and she claims to have seen God there. In that same lake, not sure whether it was in that same day or not, she saw an either dead or badly wounded bird. That was her first time using her faith with the bird. She started praying, and the bird recovered its senses and it was healed. Then, family and a few close friends who either saw or were told about such mysterious event started getting intrigued by that. And soon that faith was being used successfully with humans. There are two other interesting details with this story. She was a good artist, her drawings were beyond incredible, and she had the ability to draw things that would happen later in her life in a matter of days, or maybe even weeks. The movie also showed her health badly declining, and that's another aspect of the story. I won't spoil the movie any further. If you want, go watch and see how the story unfolds. Now let's talk about these intriguing aspects of the movie. I don't know what the beliefs of the script writers of the movie are, but here in this channel, going beyond is what we do best. So let's go beyond the script and break things down from a broader perspective. Let's talk about faith moving mountains. This affirmation doesn't exist just to be some pretty line to inspire you, to make you feel that if you strongly believe in something that it will happen. In the physical world, it's not that easy. You want something and then you have faith that you will get it. Then, with your mind, you create a plan and take action to obtain your thing. If you want money, let's say $100,000, and if you have faith you are getting it, it surely won't fall from the sky. You have to take action aligned with that belief. It is true that beliefs create your reality. Everyone has conscious and subconscious beliefs. Sometimes they clash and they create hardships in life. They cause you not to advance in certain aspects of life. They are roadblocks in the path to attaining your goals. For example, a lottery ticket. You believe you will win. That's like mathematically possible, of course, but deep down you believe you won't, but because it's so hard. Also, maybe there's a subconscious belief stating that getting such high amounts of cash would in some way save you, will take you from a place of lack to a place of abundance. Well, no shit, you don't win the lottery. You aren't aligning yourself with the vibration of abundance the lottery will bring. Remember, the outside is a reflection of the inside. Beliefs are powerful. They create magical things. The more intense, the better. I recommend a book by Napoleon Hill named Think and Grow Rich. He expands big time on this topic and you will learn a lot there. One scientific aspect of this that people overall have heard about is the placebo effect. If you don't know what this is, I will explain. For example, you take two people with a health problem in common. You give both a pill. The pill given to each individual is different. One actually gives the intended healing effect towards that illness, while the other doesn't do anything. Yet, neither test subjects know that. Both think those pills are being given to them to attack directly the health problem. And guess what? The results were amazing. Both pills improved the individual's condition. Both experienced relief in their symptoms, and one pill wasn't even supposed to give positive effects to the subject. It was the belief that such medication would improve the health condition of the individual that enabled the increased well-being in the subject. That subject healed itself at some degree. Beliefs, desires, intentions, faith, they all can move mountains, literally. If you want to move a mountain, you will create and set a few explosives and the mountain will go boom kaboom. I don't know why would you want that, but you get the point. A stronger point is creation of life. If I desired a woman and she desired me, we would go create some handsome babies. The girl in the movie, she had the intention, she desired her targets to be well, to be healthy, and she believed she could help, with no resistance to that belief, and she did it. Speaking of resistance, let's talk about her human condition as a child. As we grow, our brains grow, our mind is better developed, and often people let their minds lead their lives instead of their hearts. During childhood, in most cases, kids are more authentic, they have less programming, they live based on their emotions or on their own childlike magic. Being the case, it's easier to tap into such magic than an adult. If there is no resistance, then your beliefs, aligned with action, they become real. For nearly everyone in the world, this context seems absurd. They have never seen anyone do such things regarding healing by only praying and touching them with their hands. To introduce the next stage of this topic, I recall a TV novel I watched with my parents where an old lady got some brain cancer. She decided she didn't want any treatment. Instead, she left with her husband on a journey all over the world. When she returned, she was healed. So, what happened? She surely didn't go inside the Bosnian pyramids and benefit from the big healing concentration of negative ions located there. She only traveled, no treatment. I say she let go of the stress, the routine, she let go of everything that was harming her, that was creating the cancer within. You can become healed from either a physical and a non-physical cause. Of course, this is more complex than that, but mind follows the body and body follows the mind. During the road trip, her mind was clean, she felt free. There were no negative emotions, no stress, everything seemed new, life became magical again. Her mind felt healing and her body responded positively as well. Perhaps she also let go of the victim mentality to having the disease. She accepted what is. By accepting what is, you release any resistance to that. If you resist something, you prevent yourself from moving on beyond that something. Therefore, all these circumstances, and some others, such as being in nature, facilitated her healing and things went well. So, we can see healing from different angles. Some seem hard to picture, but there is something left to explore in this context. Going to a spiritual approach to this subject, I am aware that some people have healing abilities. Everyone has certain innate spiritual abilities, their superpowers. Nearly everyone has them suppressed. Some have them out of control and they end up in the hospital for a long while. For example, schizophrenia is a serious medical condition where people can hear weird voices, have an erratic behavior. That's an indication that person has strong innate abilities to perceive that which is unperceivable, which, in this case, is clairaudience. But that perception, because it's out of control and because the medical institutions aren't aware of the spiritual side of life, they end up going a downward spiral. Going back to the context of the movie, the girl seemed to have innate hands-on healing abilities. She would use her hands and send healing energy from her heart channeling her pure healing intentions to the physical. She also claims to have seen God. That means she can use her clairvoyance and see what others can't. Maybe that's not as well developed because she doesn't see the seasoned spirits every time during the movie, but she saw something in that distance. Last but not least, her drawings had somewhat of a prophetic vision. In one example, she drew a girl riding a horse. She then met that girl the next day and healed her. This is a phenomenon that I can't really comprehend yet, but in the astral realm, time or space don't work the same as here. These drawings, I would say, they were a form of channeling. The fact that they were so complex and nicely done shows that there was some higher inspiration flowing through her and having her draw these prophetic drawings. Even though this seems airy-fairy, we need to talk about the dark side of the Force. When she healed a few kids in a row, she ended up collapsing, and throughout the movie we see her health condition become life-threatening. This is deceptive because things don't really go like this. In life, people with hands-on healing don't suffer like this. Their life force remains there, they don't become healed. Now, maybe the girl in her innocence felt at some degree that she was sending her own life force to others, or she was transferring the heaviness from the other people to her while healing them. Oh, but there's something huge. There's something huge here. What if, subconsciously, in another life, she professed a religion that would consider magic to be a sin? What if, subconsciously, she considers this type of healing as magic? She will then be committing a sin according to her subconscious? What if she believed people who have sins must be punished? Maybe on a soul level she saw an opportunity to help others, as perhaps she did in a previous life, while redeeming this side of herself, while shifting her perspective on these healing powers, removing a limiting belief and solidifying a better one so she can live more free, tapping more into her true self, into her higher goals here on earth. This is a much more complex subject with lots of layers one can't fully comprehend, but it's all inside the person. As life goes, situations will occur and you will progressively unlock more of yourself. You will do it. I did it too. I am doing it as I go. It's our path. Our path isn't to hide and live in our comfort zone. What is it that you run away from? The shadows look scary, but maybe if you confront them, you will come out stronger, better, evolved from it, and make peace with it. That's how you level up on a soul level. And then you anchor those teachings to the physical, and your light will shine brighter and brighter. This movie brought a nice opportunity to reflect. Even though there's a certain religious side to this, I say this movie goes beyond religion. It doesn't matter what your beliefs are, accept the difference, respect. Some people may dislike movies who tap into that, and that's okay. But the lessons go beyond that. You are planted a seed. Now it's your call to harvest it or not. For me, it was a nice showcase on how the spiritual side of life works in a more advanced, unblocked way. I believe things like these are possible. Search as an example for Reiki healing videos on YouTube and see if you can feel. If you can feel the warmth, the comfort, the energies within your heart. If you can't feel anything, it's okay. Maybe all you need is to relax. Or maybe all you need is to live life without learning and tapping into these things. Perhaps it serves you best to go through that path. Deep down you know the answer. At some point you will know it. This isn't a sprint race, this is a marathon. Live like one, or don't. Your choice. Thank you for watching, please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy this type of content. Stay safe, adios.